I believed in God, but I didn't think much about Him in my day-to-day. That all changed one rainy evening when my life ended for 7 minutes. Before we go further, I'd love for you to share your thoughts in the comments as you listen. If you've had an experience like this or felt God in a real way, tell me about it. And please subscribe so you can walk with me through more stories like this, stories that might touch your heart the way this one will. That night, the rain was coming down in heavy sheets, the kind that blurs everything. I remember feeling a strange pain in my head, sharp and sudden. Then everything went black. The next thing I knew, I wasn't in my body anymore. I could see myself, lying there. People were rushing around me, shouting things I couldn't fully hear. My heart wasn't beating. I wasn't breathing. But I wasn't afraid. It felt as if I was gently being lifted upward, like my spirit was weightless. The room became smaller and smaller beneath me, and soon I wasn't in it at all. Ahead of me was something so beautiful, so inviting, a tunnel filled with light that seemed alive. The light wasn't just bright, it was warm, almost like it was reaching out for me. I felt love in that light, a love that went deeper than anything I had ever known. And then, I wasn't alone. There was a presence, radiant and pure. I can't describe it in ordinary words, but I knew it was angelic. This being didn't speak in the way we speak here on earth, but I felt every message deep inside me. He showed me that I had crossed into a place where time didn't exist, where fear couldn't enter, and where only truth remained. The angel's presence was overwhelming, yet gentle. Standing before him, I felt completely known. Every part of my life, every secret thought, every tear I'd ever cried, he understood it all. There was no judgment in his eyes, only truth and compassion. He revealed to me that I was about to be shown things that would shake me, but that I needed to see them so I could return and warn others. Without moving my feet, I found myself traveling with him, faster than thought. The light around us dimmed, and what I saw next made my heart ache. Below us was the world, but it was different, chaotic, restless. I saw storms that tore through cities, floods swallowing whole neighborhoods, earthquakes splitting the ground beneath people's feet. Fires raged across forests and towns, leaving behind smoke that darkened the sky. Then he showed me the hearts of the people living through it. So many were distracted, eyes glued to glowing screens, chasing after pleasures and possessions that couldn't last. Some laughed at the warnings being given to them, brushing it all off like a joke. Even churches, once filled with worship, stood almost empty. Many who claimed to follow God were living as if he didn't matter. The angel's presence grew even brighter as he revealed to me something that took my breath away. In the midst of all that darkness, the heavens opened, and there was Jesus, coming down in power and glory, surrounded by a countless host of angels. It was the most beautiful, awe-inspiring sight I've ever witnessed. My spirit trembled with joy, but also with sorrow, because I could see that many weren't ready for his return. The angel turned to me and, without words, pressed the truth deep into my spirit. There is still time now, but not much. People must wake up, turn back to God, and prepare their hearts before it's too late. I remember standing there, my soul almost trembling from what I had just seen. The angel's presence was steady beside me, but my heart, it was breaking. I couldn't unsee the faces of the people I had just witnessed, so many of them living without any thought of what was coming. I felt their emptiness. I felt their fear even before the danger had come. It was as though their hearts were already far from the source of life, and they didn't even realize it. The angel didn't speak, but his eyes told me he understood my pain. Then he showed me families torn apart, not just by disasters but by unforgiveness and pride. I saw parents and children who hadn't spoken in years. I saw marriages where love had grown cold. I saw neighbors passing each other every day but never looking into each other's eyes. There was this heavy sense of isolation even in crowded cities. People were surrounded by others, but living in their own lonely worlds. And yet, I also saw little lights. Small, flickering lights in different places all over the earth. These lights were people who prayed, people who still clung to God's promises even when everything around them was shaking. I felt the angel draw my attention to them, and in my heart, I heard him tell me that these lights mattered more than they could ever know. Their prayers, their love, their obedience, it was holding back more darkness than they could imagine. Then the vision shifted again. This time I saw the moment when Jesus returned. I can still feel it now as I think about it, the way the air itself seemed to bow in reverence, the way every sound hushed as his glory filled the sky. His presence was brighter than the sun, but it didn't hurt my eyes. It healed me just to look at him. I wanted to run to him, to be near him forever. But as he descended with the angels, something gripped my spirit with deep sorrow. I saw people hiding their faces, shrinking back, overwhelmed by shame and regret. These were people who had heard about him but had not truly given him their hearts. I saw tears of joy from those who had been waiting for him, but also tears of fear from those who realized they had wasted their time. The angel revealed to me that this moment, the return of Jesus, would be the greatest joy and the deepest sorrow the world has ever known. For some, it would be the fulfillment of every hope. For others, it would be the moment they realized they had been chasing the wrong things all along. I stood there, unable to move, feeling the weight of what I had been shown. The angel's light surrounded me, almost as if to comfort me. Deep within, I understood. I was being given this glimpse not so I could stand in awe, but so I could go back and tell the truth. Time is shorter than we think. The angel's light began to surround me more fully, and I could feel a deep peace pressing into my soul, even though my heart was heavy with what I had seen. He revealed to me that my life was not over, that I still had a purpose on earth. He showed me my little boy's face, smiling, waiting for me. And in that moment, I understood that my time wasn't finished because my mission was only beginning. He told me, not in words but in a truth that sank deep inside, that I was to warn people. To tell them that the time is short, that God's mercy is still open, and that forgiveness, prayer, and obedience are not optional, they are the lifeline. He impressed on me how important it was to live holy, to forgive quickly, and to love without holding back, because the days ahead would be harder than many could imagine. The light around us began to grow even brighter, and I felt myself being drawn backward, away from the vision of heaven, away from the angel's side. My spirit resisted. I didn't want to leave that place of perfect peace, but something in me knew I had to return. I felt the angel's presence one last time, and then, there was darkness. The darkness around me didn't last long. It was as if I was being pulled through it, faster and faster, until I suddenly felt the weight of my body again. The peace of heaven was replaced by the sharp reality of earth. Bright hospital lights above me, muffled voices turning into urgent shouts. I gasped, pulling in air like I had been underwater for years. Nurses and doctors were leaning over me, eyes wide in disbelief. I could feel the tears on my face, though I didn't remember crying. My body felt weak, but my heart was burning with everything I had just seen. I wanted to speak, to tell them what had happened, but the words wouldn't come out yet. All I could do was whisper, thank you, over and over, not to them but to the one who had given me another chance. In the days that followed, I couldn't stop thinking about the angel's charge to me. Every sound of the wind, every glimpse of the sunrise, every beat of my heart reminded me that I had been brought back for a reason. I looked at my little boy playing on the floor one morning, and I knew I could never go back to living the way I had before, half aware of God, half distracted by the noise of life. So I started speaking. First to my family, then to my friends, then to anyone who would listen. I told them about the light, the love, and the warning. I told them that Jesus is coming, not as a distant idea but as a living truth that is closer than we think. I shared what the angel had shown me, that we must forgive quickly because bitterness is a chain, that we must pray deeply because prayer is our shield, that we must obey God's word, because His ways are the only safe ground when the world shakes. Some people listened with open hearts, their eyes filling with tears as they nodded. Others smiled politely but brushed it off. At first, that hurt me, but then I remembered the vision. I remembered the people distracted by empty things, and I knew that my job was not to force anyone to believe, but to plant the seed and trust God to make it grow. And so I live differently now. I wake up each day knowing it could be my last, and I speak as if every word might be the one someone needs to hear before their own time runs out. I'm not perfect, far from it, but I carry the fire of that moment inside me, and it drives me to keep going even when I feel tired or discouraged. If you are hearing my story right now, I want you to know, this is not just about me. This is about you, your heart, your eternity. Don't wait for a disaster or a last breath to turn back to God. He is calling you now in love, just as He called me back when I was gone for 7 minutes. Thank you for walking through this journey with me. If my testimony has touched you, I'd be so grateful if you would subscribe to this channel, not just to hear more stories like mine, but so we can walk this path together, encourage each other, and be ready for the day when the skies open and He returns. Until then, let's live ready, love deeply, and hold on to hope.